had to eat, and I had to make something real quickly, so I had chicken wrapped in salami. Believe it or not. Oh, I pressed smash wrong. Let me retype that. But what's up, everyone? Welcome, 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 welcome. Hope you all are doing well. I'm just going to create a new poll. I just wanted to know if you guys, the one that's up right now is, do you prefer when I do streams by myself or with a guest? Do you guys prefer with guests? Maybe that's because I talk more. So let me just end that real fast. We'll get the results in a moment. And I'm going to make a new poll right now. You prefer painting streams during Okay, created a new poll. There we go. Alrighty, let me get situated with all this. Gotta get my bearings a little bit. It's one of those days, guys. I did a lot today. I went outside. It was weird. I went outside, saw people. Strange day. Interacting with other humans is like strange for me. I don't really like it. But I had to. I had to do some errands. I went to the post office. Whoever was the mofo that sent me underwear, I hate you. I really do. With all of my heart. And I'm assuming it's Russell Hall. So, Russell Hall, F you. F you, my dude. Sorry, since I adjusted my... I don't know if it'll pick it up well. Well, we will try. Okay, cool. Got everything set up. Matt G, thank you for the super sticker. It's just a $1. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You don't think Russell Hall would go that far? I don't know. Russell Hall is, let's see. Russell Hall is a bit of a shady individual sometimes. No disrespect to Russell Hall, but mofo, are you serious? You seriously wanted to do that to me? Now everyone at the P.O. Box thinks I'm a pervert. It was so awkward when I pulled the fucking shit out of the P.O. Box. People saw it, and I was like, what the fuck? I was so mad. If anyone doesn't know, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, somebody sent used underwear to my P.O. Box. I'm assuming it was Russell Hall. I could be wrong, but I think it's a pretty safe assumption, all things considering. Alright, let me move my camera over for a minute. There we go. Alright. Today I am painting Miss Bella. which is actually the Munchkin. Peaches is little Munchkin. And we painting that little girl. She's like, when are you gonna paint me? When are you gonna paint me? And I'm like, I got you on my list, girl. I had to go based on, you know. I had to do this based on the order that was sent to me, but this one I actually took the photo myself. So, based on when I was able to get that in, which, as you guys can see, was not immediately. Alrighty. Let's start mixing some paint. Start mixing some paint for this little lady. Alright, little Munchkin. So she's actually got very dark skin. She is basically half Amazon. Her mother is from the Amazon. So yeah, she's kind of a little bit of a darker complexion. Little Munchkin. Little itty bitty baby. Now the light source is cool and the shadows are warm, but her skin is still very dark, so she's a dark little girl. She gets even darker when it's summertime and she tans. It's like, did you visit the sun, Bellaboo? Is there actually anything in it? You think I opened it? Didn't open it. You're crazy. I've drawn this little girl a few times, always as a gift for Peaches, and every time, like one time I did it in all red, and that was when she was really little, and she's just like, I don't have red hair, and I'm like, I know, your skin is red, your teeth are red, and she's like, but I don't have red, and I'm like, I know, it's drawn in one color. Little Munchkin. She's been waiting very patiently, though, for her eye painting, so, I'm excited to see how, she likes this. Or if she even likes it. I can already see it. My skin isn't that color. It's like, I love you, Munchkin, but ugh. But kids, that's the thing about kids, though. They're so honest. There's nothing getting past them. You know? I really hope this little girl likes this. I'm like so looking at the photo that I have of her, and I'm like, oh my god, this child. I already know she's gonna be like, that's wrong. I'm like, ah! What can I do to please you, baby girl? The answer is nothing. Except V-Bucks for Fortnite. That's about it. That's how you please the children nowadays. It's all they want, ever. No, she doesn't have blue eyes. This is for her, let's see. Let's see. Did you see Perth Comics Henry Cavill responding to your tweets video at the art? No. What? I did not see that. I want to see that. Somebody send me that. Do I need to see this though? Is it going to break my heart? Am I going to be like... Am I gonna cry? Is it mean? That's for the pinks of her eyes.
trying to clean this up to look presentable. Alrighty, let's see. What else did I need? Oh yeah, the light part. Okay. Alrighty. You guys can't even see the bottom colors that I mixed. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Oh, this little munchkin. Alright. Oh shoot, let me move this back over. There we go. Alrighty. Let's start. Munchkin time. Get my reference in front of me. Little itty bitty munchkin. Little itty bitty baby Bella. That's what I call her. I call her baby Bella or Bella Boo. I'm like little itty bitty baby Bella. I'm gonna make her eye real big. She's getting so tall, guys. Peaches has this, like, because, you know, you never stay in the same house forever, so it's like when you write the kids, like, heights on the wall. So he just got, like, a 2x4 that's, like 9 feet tall. And so he's just kept that to be able to, you know, measure the munchkin. And so he just measured her. She grew a full inch in like 6 months. We're like, oh my God, she's so tall. It's crazy. I was teasing him. I was like, she's like probably going to be the tallest in her class. Little baby Bella. She likes playing soccer, and I was like, she should play basketball. She's so tall. I'm like, she's going to be taller than me. I guarantee you by probably July she'll be taller than me. She's so tall, little girl. And it's funny because when I first met her, she was so little, and I'm like, oh my God, Bella, you got so big. She was like the same size as her Sven plushie. And she absolutely loved Elsa and Frozen. I remember going to Disneyland and we watched the Frozen like musical, and she was like on the edge of her seat the whole time, like just so she could see Elsa. Little itty bitty baby girl. And she's so tall and she's getting older. Little baby girl. I feel like I made this too high up on the page. I'll just have to paint in more of her cheek. Is it centered? It's not. I think I might have to redo this. I need to center it a bit more. I'm gonna have to get a new canvas, I'm sorry. I need this to be perfect or else this child won't be happy. Alright, take 2. Take 2. "30 people watching, please smash the like button, please, and thank you." Okay, let me get there we go. More centered. You know, anyone check out Cobra Kai? Peaches and I watched the first like 3 episodes last night. Now I gotta wait for him to come home to watch the rest of it. I'm like, oh, so good. I feel sorry for the new kid. They were so mean to him. I'm like, aw, poor baby. Let me see. First of all, thank you, Super Chat. Oh, it's Cobra Cat? I didn't know, because I don't have a calendar to mark the date. Don't worry, Russell, you'll get it. You will get it. And I added on a bunch of months, so you guys should be happy. Alright, that's good. Alrighty. I honestly can't wait for everyone to get them and to see what everyone says. First of all, thank you, Super Chat. Promises Bottoms. By the way, we need to ask, how would you rate those Jack Murphy vids? Was your favorite part all the fur or all the manos? Ugh! Ew! I saw shit I can't unsee. I'm like, ugh. Like, no wonder he got so pissed. But honestly, if he didn't get so mad, this wouldn't be like the freaking Streisand effect right now. You know? But you know what? It's not my problem. And I don't... At this point, I'm just like, you dug your hole deeper. But I don't know. It's just... It's crazy, all that shit that's coming out. I'm like, ugh. Saw things, guys. Saw things I can't unsee. Stuff I never wanted to see. I liked Chrissy Mayer's tweet. She's just like, you think she knows someone and then you see a video of them shoving something up their ass and it's like, oh God. First of all, thank you, Super Chat. Are you saying ew because of his blue eyes? I'm saying ew because of the second a guy starts shoving shit up their ass, it's like, ugh. But also, it's like, I didn't need to see any of that, dude. Like, nothing. Hell no. That's also thank you for the super chat. Be honest, I thought it was worth the LOLs. The LOLs. Ugh. You know what? I didn't need to see it. I didn't want to see it. I didn't need to see it. And unfortunately, I saw it. So, yeah, I'm not too happy about that. This whole shit show, though, it's really getting, out of hand, I feel. But it's like, there's already a fire. You don't need to throw more shit in the fire if you want the fire to go out, right? Which I feel like that's all that's being done right now. It's like, let's just add to the fire. And it's like, well, this didn't have to happen this way. But it is. Russell Hall, thank you for the super chat. Honestly, I would probably light myself on fire and run into oncoming traffic. Yeah, again, it could have all been avoided if, just said, like, yeah, I'm into kinky sex, Like, if you just would have said that instead of doubling down and trying to ruin, people, like, trying to go to war and stuff, it's like, I think a lot more people would, just be like, all right, dude's into weird shit. And he's like, yeah, if he would have just said that. But nope. But also, it's like, why would you put that online, right? It's like, it's your face. It's, like, you gotta know that that's out there. You didn't even, like, try to change anything. So, obviously, you uploaded that to make money, I guess, but it's like, well then, you got no one to blame but yourself there. I got no sympathy. Skinny Cecil, I think I'd like to sell my soul to anyone willing since it cannot be saved after that. No kidding. No kidding. Yeah, it's like, ugh. I don't know. If you're gonna, here's the thing. That shit is, the internet is forever. Once that's out there, it's out there forever. So the second you decide, oh, I'm just gonna casually do porn to make some money with the missus, it's like, alright, but you're not doing anything to change your appearance. So people are gonna find that, especially if like the excuse was that him and the wife did it so that way they could make money. So it was like, oh, let's watch, you know, so and so do porn with their wife. So obviously you were using yourself to market that. So what did you expect? People to not see that or never to bring it up? No, that's not how the internet works. Right? It's just, it's dumb. I took this photo at my mother's house. I was like, this is lighting is good. Look at me. And she just like, she does this little expression where her eyes get all big and she kind of purses her lips. It looks so cute. It's funny. Sometimes Peaches will show me baby videos and she makes that same expression in them. And I'm like, oh my God, nothing has changed. She's just gotten taller. She's so cute. Cutest little girl. Do you think they shouldn't have made the video? Well, I mean, if you don't want it found, don't make it. It's not, I mean, here's the thing. I would never, ever, ever do something like that, right? So my perception of it is going to be coming from that stance. Like, I don't know why anyone would do that, but people do it. And here, some people like, you know, they're exhibitionists. They like people watching them when they do that kind of stuff. So, I mean, whatever floats your boat. But again, you gotta be able to deal with the consequences of stuff like that. And if your whole business is that you're against that, but you did it, it's like, well then, how do you expect people to take you seriously? Like, ever? And I mean, they got no one to blame but themselves. Russell, thank you for the super chat. Do you think he passes the Sharpie test? Oh, God. You know what? I didn't see any of the uncensored ones. Skinny Cecil, would you be willing to make a video but using mask cosplay? No! No, you weirdo. You just all learned here Skinny Cecil's a degenerate, almost as much as their namesake. That's the wrong one. So I don't know if anyone here saw, but our one and only Mr. Kelsey, who never shows up to the Jack show, has an Indiegogo campaign right now. It's for the whole, all the volumes of Nora's saga. It's very exciting for Mr. Kelsey. Maybe he'll show up to the Jack show, so that way he can promote it. And next time I host Jack show, which isn't this week, it's the week after, we have a celebrity guest. Miss Brittany Venti herself is going to grace us with her presence on the Jack show. So that's going to be fun for everyone, I think. Russell, thank you so much. What the hell are you complaining about then? It's just the fact that the parts that I did have to see that were censored, I'm complaining about, Russell Hall. I didn't want to see anything. Even the censored stuff is bad. Anyone wondering, yes, the Munchkin really is this dark. She got some dark skin. That's what happens when you're half Portuguese and half what her mother is. I don't know if I've ever said it. So I guess South American. There we go. Her mom's pretty dark though. Got some beautiful skin. Little Bella does. She's so freaking cute. You guys are going to see in a minute how long this little Munchkin's eyelashes are. It's not fair. Her and Peaches with their long eyelashes. I'm like, ugh. It's not fair. Little Munchkin and her eyelashes. Russell, thank you so much. Oh, Anna, you have no idea. Oh, God. I don't want to have an idea, though, Russell. The DAC show will be like milk plus milk. Oh, my God. You guys be nice. She is a guest, and it'll be on my channel that week, so you guys all better be on your best behavior. Hmm. Uh... Little itty bitty munchkin, little itty bitty munchkin, little itty bitty munchkin, munchkin, munchkin. Oh, she's so little. Not anymore, but she's so tall. She's still little to me, though. Little itty bitty baby Bella. Little itty bitty baby Bella. It's only gonna be a matter of time before I can't even say that to her. She's gonna be a teenager before I know it, then she's never gonna want to spend time with me at Peaches. It's gonna be so depressing. I don't know. Kids gotta grow up sometimes, right? As much as I don't want her to, because she's so little. Oh, and Tulip loves her so much. They're bestest friends. Little girl with her big brown eyes. Russell Hall, thank you for the super chat. Well, anyway, that answers my previous question. I guess the Tronny vid was still technically worse. If you've seen the actual vid, though, probably not. You know what? I only saw a preview, but it was not censored. So yeah, it was bad. Alrighty. I wonder what Peaches is doing. So I got, aside from, oh, Russell Hall, since you're here. Russell Hall, did you send me used underwear, you perv? Was that you, or was that somebody else? I've been blaming it on you all day. Well, on that note, nighty-night, sweet dreams. Thank you for the super chat, Russell Hall, but yo, motherfucker, was that you? Before you leave, answer that damn question. Was that you? Did you send me that package of used underwear that says right on the package that it's used undies? Was that you, mofo? Fuck no? Are you sure that wasn't you, Russell Hall? Anna thinks Russell Hall's responsible for the Jack Murphy vids. Ugh. Yeah, guys, go on my Twitter. You guys will see the post where I showed the photo from the post office of the package I was sent is not amused. Red Hall, thank you for that. Have you questioned Narwhal about this? No, but you know what? I will now. Just so we get this record set straight. Who the fuck sent me these damn underwear? 'Cause I'm not kidding. When I opened my P.O. box and that package came out, I screamed. I was like, ah! Russell Hall, thank you for super chat. OMG, it was J-Doll. Oh, God. I sincerely hope not. Russell, thank you. What type of science will you use them for? None. Russell, thank you. Also, how do you know they were dirty? It says right on the packaging. You don't have to be logged into Twitter, but just go check my Twitter. It's like the last photo I posted. You'll know exactly which one it is, Russell, because your name's in it. Russell, thank you. You sniffed them, didn't you? I didn't even open them, Russell Hall. Hell no. Russell, thanks for that. Alright, I'm really going to bed, but first, why on God's earth would you think I'd send you something like that? I've never sent you a DP. Russell Hall, because it's something you would do. Okay? That's why I thought it was you. That's a very you thing. This conversation is really inspiring me to prank Anna in her P.O.Box and blame Russell Hall. No, don't do that. Please, please, none of that. I don't need that. I don't need that weirdness in my life, guys. I really don't. Keep all the freaking post office think I'm a perv now. think I just rubbed paint in my eye because it's starting to burn. It's fun. Ow. Russell thinks Russell Hall may have zero respect for boundaries and common decency, Anna, but he's not a total creep. Now I'm off to bed before you can respond to that. There you go. I just responded. So now we have the mystery, though, guys. If it wasn't Russell Hall, who the hell was it? What other perverts do I have in my freaking chat? Who was it? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of a story to tell while I paint this. I guess I can spoil that book that I read. I was reading, or I shouldn't say I read it. I listened to the audiobook of Ilium, which was a Nick Rekieta recommendation. It was very, very good. Do you guys want me to retell you that story in my own mangled description of it? Or do you guys not want me to spoil you that book? Let's see. Yes. Alright, I'm just going to tell you guys this story. Just in case you guys ever wanted to read this book, I'm going to totally spoil it for you. But I guess if you guys like it, you guys can go read it for yourself. So, there's a bunch of different storylines in one, and it's really confusing at first because you don't know where you are or who these people are or like even what time you're in. And then like halfway through it, I fucking realized that two of the characters weren't even like humanoids, they were robots. And I was like, what the hell? So we got a bunch of robots in this thing? So it's kind of confusing at first. So I was just getting more confused as the story went on. So I went and I Googled it, and I got the little breakdown of what characters were what and like what time they were in. I didn't get any spoilers or anything, but I thought that was really helpful. I'm like, all right, you kind of need to know that before you can really understand the story. So let me explain the character. So kind of the main character is this guy called Hockenberry. And so he was a teacher or professor during like the 2000s, but he died of like stomach cancer or something. But so he has been taken by the Greek gods, and him and other, what do they call it? It starts with an S. It's not scribe, it's some other word that they use for it. But so him and like all of these other like historians or professors or basically experts or people that are experts on the Iliad and on I don't know if they have to be professors of the Odyssey too, but they basically just have to like basically know the freaking Iliad forwards and backwards, like word for word. They're able to interpret it. And so what these Greek gods want them to do is that their job is to observe all of the Trojan War, and they have to make notes of discrepancies from what Homer wrote versus what they actually see and what's been going on. And so he's been doing that for, I think it's been almost the 10 years of doing it. And so the gods actually are giant. Like, let's see, bye all. Boba Fett episode 2, can't read. Well, bye everyone that left. Thank you to everyone that's staying. I'm going to ruin this book for you. But so, anyways, he's been observing the Trojan Wars and whatnot. And then, him and the other guys that do that, they have to report to a muse. And one of the muses, the one that he's assigned to, she takes him and she's like, all right, she gives him Hades' helmet so that way he can turn invisible. And while he's on Mount Olympus, and she's like, all right, I'm going to give you this mission. Well, I'm going to take you before like the god or goddess that gave you this, because one of the gods or goddesses has a mission for you. And so at this point, Zeus is pretty pissed off because the gods and goddesses keep interfering with their favorites. So Athena is obviously on the Trojan side and stuff like that. So they just keep fucking with everything, right? And they mess everything up. And so Zeus is fucking pissed. And Zeus is the only one that knows the outcome of the Trojan War. None of the gods or goddesses, aside from Zeus, know what's going to happen. And the guy, Skolic. I think that's what they're called, the Skolic. Okay. Or is that the robot? I don't fucking know. But I'm just going to say that Hockenberry is a Skolic. And I could be completely wrong. That could be the name of the robot. Or the type of robot. But anyways, okay. So, Hockenberry knows, and all the other Skolics know. And the Greek gods and goddesses aren't allowed to ask. And they're not, they kind of have the ones that they're in charge of. But they're not allowed to tell them. And only Zeus knows. And nobody talks to Zeus outside of the gods and goddesses. Unless you want to die. So, he gets, taken into this little chamber, and he sees Aphrodite. And Aphrodite is like, alright, I want you to kill Athena, because bitches hate each other. And so she gives him, they kind of already have these kind of taser stick things that'll shock you. And so that's why she gave him the Hades helmet. And they have little transporter necklaces. Oh my god, what the heck just happened? I just got blue all over this. They have these little transporter necklaces so that way they can go back and forth from Olympus to Troy. And when the Skolics are at Troy and they're interacting with, if they're there to observe like a battle, or like Agamemnon and Achilles yelling at each other or something like that, they take the form of a person that's there that's not really important, and so that way nobody suspects. So none of the Greeks or the Trojans see the Skolics, and they're not allowed to like interfere with things that are going to happen. They're only there to observe and to take note of the discrepancies from Homer's interpretation, from Homer's Iliad. So when Aphrodite is like, yo, I want you to fucking kill Athena. And, she's like, you got the Hades helmet. And the special thing about the Hades helmet is it'll make you invisible. Just in case if you guys missed the original Clash of the Titans where Perseus gets the Hades helmet. And then he loses it in the swamp. But, so he's got the Hades helmet and he's got to kill Athena. And he's like, homegirl be fucking crazy. He's like, if I kill her, I'm going to die. Right? He's like, they're going to kill me if they find out it's me. But he's mischievous and he kind of wants to know why the hell he's there and all that. He's an intelligent man, right? And so he's observing and he needs to set up, he figures it out. He's like, he needs to set up events so that way it'll be something for, if Athena comes down and like fights and tries to, help the Trojans, so that way he can get a shot at her and kill her, right? And so he's been plotting that. Now, there's these other people that are in the super future. Super future. And so there are these people that live in this, it's called Artist Hall. Got no idea where it's at, no idea what planet it's on. I don't know if it's on Earth or if it's on an asteroid or whatnot. They're not really sure. But there's fucking dinosaurs, right? And I was like, what the hell am I listening to when this happened? So, there's this dude named, what's his name? I think his name's Diamond. And so Diamond is, actually he's a lot like Cecil. He's fat and lazy, except this dude, it's gay as hell. He collects butterflies. And so, in this future, nobody really seems to have a job. Nobody needs money. They have these robots that serve them called servitors. There's these robots called Voynix that help them in some way. And, protect them from, I guess, getting eaten alive by dinosaurs and stuff like that. And then, so, Diamond wants to fuck his cousin named Ada. And the whole introduction to him is like him talking about when she was a kid, how he saw her naked, and now she's like a whammon. Okay, she wasn't like a kid when he saw her. She was like a teenager, and now she's like, I guess, in her 20s and whatnot. So he's like, oh yeah, she's like super hot. I'm totally gonna fuck her. I'm gonna go to her house, and she invited him to like some birthday party or something, and he's like, I'm totally gonna bang her, right? But then he shows up, and she's got some friends with her. She's got this friend, what's her name? Named Hannah. And then her other friend is this dude named Harmon. And even though this is the super, 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 super future, none of these bitches know how to fucking read. Because it's so advanced, they're living such a life of luxury that nobody knows how to read. And so Ada is like gushing over this dude named Harmon because Mofo can read. And also, this is really confusing, and this is one of the things that I had to Google, because I was like, what the fuck are these bitches talking about? They keep talking about their 20. Like, they're like, is this your first 20, your second 20, you know, what 20 are you in? That's a common thing that all these fuckers talk about. So basically what it is that these humans, and I use that as a term very loosely, they're not really humans, they're a design of these people called the post-humans, which aren't human either. They're basically, you know, kind of genetically modified versions of humans, but there's only one human, like a real human that still exists, and we'll get to that. But so, the book I'm talking about is called Ilium. So Harmon, the magical thing about him is not only can he read, he's the only human, or whatever version of humans they are, modified human, he's the only one that can read that they know of, right? So she's all infatuated with him. He's on his, like, last 20 years because the humans in this time period, they look like they're in their 20s, and every time they live another 20, they go into this machine that teleports them to a hospital up in the stars, and in the hospital they go into kind of bathtub tanks, like in Star Wars, and it rejuvenates them, so they start over again back at 20. And so they do this 5 times. Each human is allowed 5 20s. And once they're done with their 5 20s, they get sent to live with the post-humans, or so they think. So if this isn't confusing you, or if you guys are seriously confused, imagine reading this shit and being like, what the fuck is anyone talking about? If you're confused about what I'm talking about. That was me. So Alexa, tell me the story of the Iliad. Is that what it sounds like? But so anyway, Diamond is fucking pissed because he shows up for this party, and the chick that he wanted to fuck has like a boyfriend there, or has got a guy that she's obviously interested in, and he's like, yo, this mofo is full of shit. He's lying. He's saying that he's like 99 years old, and she's all into him. Why the hell would she invite me if she didn't want to, you know, get down to business? And so his like whole thing is just him trying to like plot a master plan so he can fuck her. Right? Like that's all he wants. And so they're all talking about like the concept of reading and books, and Harmon is telling his stories about how he's traveled, and that's how he learned how to read, was he found this like data disk or something, and so he can read and whatnot. And what you find out later, which it's fine for me to tell you now, is basically he doesn't want his life to end, or he doesn't want to go up with the post-humans to their version of what they think an afterlife or a life after that, because they don't really know, they don't understand the concept of death or dying. They think that even once their 5 20s are up, they're gonna go live with the post-humans. They don't understand that that means mofos are just gonna fucking die, right? So they don't understand that concept. So he's not afraid of dying necessarily. He's afraid he just doesn't want his life to be that way. He wants to stay there, and he wants to have something different than what is already set in front of them, if that makes sense. And so that's why he likes to explore and stuff. And so Ada and Hannah's not into him, but they got this kind of infatuation with ideas that he brings forth, because no one else thinks like that. Everyone is completely fine living in the laps of luxury and just, you know, enjoying their lives until they go and join the post-humans. Let's see. This is clearly a great time to drop in on the stream. So I am recapping the Ilium, which is a book. So if you're very confused, chat, just if anyone pops in and they have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, can you guys just let them know I'm doing a recap of a book? Okay, so those are those people that are there. So they're all the girls are all infatuated with Harmon. Diamond's pissed because he wants to fuck his cousin, whose name is Ada. And so they're in the, like, super, super, super future. And he's trying to convince her to fuck him. But she wants to show him, basically, this ceremony that Harmon kind of taught them. And so they use all this clay. And they make a fire, which, being the outsider, Diamond is like, these people are fucking crazy. Right? He's like, what the hell are they doing? And he's just irritated by Harmon because he's basically being a huge cock block, right? And so he has been terrified of dinosaurs ever since he was a kid because Ada told him that a T-Rex will eat him. And then he needs to go to the bathroom because they're doing this whole, like, they're making they're basically trying to make they sculpt out a baby and then they put it in a cast, and so they make a clay baby and they're doing this whole ceremony. She's like, look, we made a baby. And I really don't understand what the point of that was, but whatever, they do it. That's the beginning of, you know, that's what these people do. And he has to pee, but he doesn't, you know, he can't take the Voynix, which transported him, which is a robot, back to wherever the artist hall, which is where Ada lives, and he's visiting. And she's like, just go in the forest. And he's just like, no, you told me there was T-Rexes there. I don't want to get eaten by a T-Rex. And she's like, oh, I was just joking. I only told you that when, you know, when we were kids. And he's like, all right, then I'll go piss. And she doesn't realize that he's going to go out in the bushes. And a fucking dinosaur comes out of nowhere. He goes past, like, the safety bounds. And a fucking dinosaur comes out of the fucking forest and eats him. And it's like, what the fuck? Bitch just got eaten by a dinosaur. But what it doesn't tell you is that even if they're eaten and they die, if they haven't lived out their full 520s, the little they basically have teleportation devices. So the little transporters keep tabs of their DNA. And so if somebody dies, let's say somebody drowns, somebody hits their head, somebody has like a fatal accident, in the infirmary up in the stars, it will immediately start like replicating a new body, and it'll imprint all of like the memories from the person. So they basically get a brand new body, and it doesn't affect the 20s thing. Like I guess they still get that. And so once he rejuvenates, he goes back to his mother's house, and because he lives with his mom, which is, I guess, normal for these people if their parents are still alive. And so, and each woman can only have one child, because there's supposed to be only 1 million humans at one time. But these dumb motherfuckers don't know how to count, so they don't realize that there's not really 1 million humans. So, anyways, he gets rejuvenated, and they go to visit him, and he and Hannah went to Burning Man. I know, Burning Man somehow is in this, because it's still going on at that time. So they had gone to Burning Man, and when they were at Burning Man, they met the last real human, which is this woman named Savi, and her nickname is the Wandering Jew, because she's Jewish. Go figure. And so Savi is like the last real human, because there was real humans like me and you, and then there was these humans called the post-humans, which were basically genetically modified humans, but they were only female. I don't know why, and they never really explained it, or if they did, I was too confused to, and I missed it. But so, Savi somehow, instead of, you know how in Star Trek they say beaming, sounds like Jack Murphy, sorry, God. But anyways, so they want to find Savi because Harmon wants to find her because Harmon wants to basically live forever, or he wants to have a life different than what he had, and he wants answers to questions. And so they want to find Savi because Savi is the last like real human. And so the only people that know Savi were Hannah and Harmon, because Hannah and Harmon went to the last Burning Man. And when they were there, they saw her. And they're like, how did you know that she was the wandering Jew? And they're like, because she was old. Because all of these people aren't old. And they're like, she had so many wrinkles because she's like 1,500 years old, right? And so they're like, well, where was the last place you saw her? And they're like, well, the last Burning Man was in a place called Antarctica. And so they're like, in Antarctica? So they're like, all right, let's just go to Antarctica. And so instead of like beaming like in Star Trek, they call their like transporting, they call it faxing. And so it's like you get to a fax machine, and that's basically their transporter. So they transport over to Antarctica, and the Voynixes that are robots that are supposed to protect them and stuff follow them there, and they're like, yo, you fuckers can't go outside because it's fucking freezing. It's freezing cold in Antarctica. But all these bitches are so fucking stupid because they've been living the laps of luxury that they don't know anything. They don't know any geography of any kind. So they're like, all right. So they put on these suits that are like neon colors, and they go out walking in Antarctica. And they need to find where the last Burning Man was so they can find any trace of Savi. So they can find her and learn all of her secrets. And they find like something scribbled in a rock, which they think, it's a bunch of numbers. And they think that that's a fax for, you know, beaming. Because you have to put in a code to be able to beam to a certain place. And so they think it's a fax code. For them, you know, maybe she scratched it in because none of them are familiar with the code or any of that. So they're like, all right, we're going to fax to this place. And Diamond at this point is like, these bitches are fucking crazy, but he's curious enough to keep going. And of course, he still wants to fuck his cousin. So they fax there, and it takes them to Savi's home. And it's like basically in a mountain somewhere in Antarctica, and then they find like some machine and whatnot, and then Savi has a gun and is like, I'm gonna kill all of you. And then she recognizes Harmon and Hannah, and so they kind of have a little powwow session where she starts kind of explaining things to them, but she doesn't fully explain things. So she's just like, yo, yeah, I survived the final fax, which is when all the post-humans had all of the normal humans basically put into a beam, like a light beam, into space. And they said that they would bring them back once they got everything settled or some shit. Once they fixed something. And she was like, yeah, fuck no. And the Voynixes, which are the robots that are supposed to protect the futuristic humans, want to kill her because she doesn't register in any of their systems because she is an OG human. She's not a post-human. She's not one of these futuristic, altered humans. So whenever they see her or they register her on their like sensors, they just want to fucking kill her. And so she kind of has to avoid them and whatnot. And so they were actually kind of wondering because when Diamond, when Diamond got eaten by this is the weirdest sentence I'm ever going to say. When Harmon got eaten by the dinosaur, they wondered why the robot didn't save him because the robots are there for their protection. And she explains that, the robot, the Voynixes, have been following Harmon because they kind of register anything that's unusual. And one of the things about the Voynix is that they're not actually from, they weren't made by the post-humans. They just kind of showed up and nobody knows where they came from. And so even she doesn't know. And so even though this is like a paradise for these, you know, altered humans, it's actually kind of post-apocalyptic because, you know, nobody knows how to read. And nobody knows anything except for this one old lady and like the one human that's curious. And so imagine a post-apocalyptic world that is a paradise. So it's an interesting concept. And so while this is going on, we get to meet the third main character, which is a robot called is it Orpho? Fuck, what is the damn robot's name? Orpho of Io, and then his best friend Monmont. So Orpho is a robot that lives on Europa, which is one of the moons. Fuck, is it Jupiter? Is Europa a moon of Jupiter or Saturn? I can't remember. But so Orpho has this ship called the something lady, which I can't remember either. And so Orpho and his friend Monmont get called into this meeting of the other robots that have said that they've noticed something strange is going on Mars. And so they've they picked these robots to come here. Or is it Monmont, the name of the robot, and Orpho is his friend? You know what? I think I got those mixed up. Monmont is the main robot, and Orpho of Io is his best friend. Okay, so, anyways. I think that's right. But anyways, Orpho, or Monmont, fuck, whatever the fuck, I gotta Google this now because it's gonna bother me. But basically, the robot's happy because his friend is gonna go with him to Mars, and this is a one-way mission, but they have to take his ship because there's a possibility of them going in the ocean of Mars, because Mars has been completely terraformed. And so the robots lost contact with the post-humans, but so they've just been keeping on their work. And so the main robot is like, all right, you guys are going to go to Mars. You guys are going to go deliver this one thing to Olympus Mons, which is a mountain on Mars. And you're going to go deliver this and basically just go on this mission. And they get the option to not go on the mission, and they'll pick someone else, but Orpho and Monmont go. And so the whole time that they're going, one of the robots is like a spider-like robot. He's got all these arms and like a bunch of eyes and stuff like that. And so he's a really big robot. And then the other robot, that's the main robot, he's kind of smaller, maybe, and he's got wheels, but he's got parts of his body that are organic, so that way he can connect with the ship or something. I can't really get a visual on what he looks like. And so, are you making this stuff up? No, this is an actual book. I'm not kidding. This is the story Anna told the post office when they ended the underwear. No, I'm not kidding. This is in the fucking book. I'm not making this shit up. And so the robots have to go to Mars to go find out why the planet's been completely terraformed and shit, and what the fuck is going on there. And they're not the main robots on this mission. They have to report to this other robot that's kind of an asshole that won't tell them anything. And so Orpho is happy because, Orpho or Monmont, whatever the fuck their names are happy because they've done missions together before, and so they're old friends, and they're kind of like, you know, I don't know, they're the closest thing they have to each other, I guess. And so one of them really likes Shakespeare, and the other one really likes Proust, and they like just have, you know, philosophical conversations about these old human authors, and the one main robot really is fascinated by ancient humanity and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a philosophical thing, but I like stories about friendship, so maybe that's why I like these ones so much. And so those are my favorite characters. And so basically when they get to Mars, they find the Greek gods there, and fucking Zeus shows up with his fucking chariot in the sky and blows up the spaceship. And so Orpho and Mon Mon are the only ones that survive, and they have to make a crash landing in the ocean of Mars. And so the one main robot, this guy was drugged out of his mind when writing this book. He's the guy that wrote Hyperion. But anyways, so they crash on Mars, and Mon Mon is like, he's the main robot, and he's trying to figure out how to have them survive. And those Greek gods, they don't know that they're Greek gods, but obviously us, the reader, know that they're the Greek gods. But so he knows that they're looking for him, and he's trying to figure out a way so that way him and Orpho both can survive. And so they're staying submerged underwater, but even though they're robots, I guess they need oxygen for whatever reason. And so he's trying to, and they're on different parts of the ship, and when they crashed, Orpho lost all of his eyes, and the circuits that his eyes were plugged into got fried. So he's never going to be able to see again, no matter, if they fix him. So, but him and Mon Mon can, like, they talk to each other through, they mentally can communicate. Because they're, I don't know, hooked up to each other in some weird shape. Mars has oceans in the future. Yeah, it got terraformed. That's where they were trying to investigate. So they have to get this one part of the ship that somehow still was intact to Olympus Mons, which is it's a volcano on Mars. They don't know what the mission is, or they don't know why. They just know that they have to do that, and that's their mission. So they're like, all right, well, we're going to complete the mission, and they're going to try to do it and survive. And so somehow Mon Mon gets them out of there, even though they're like in the ocean. He's worried about oxygen and stuff like that, and they're probably both going to die, or Orpho is going to die, and he doesn't want that because that's his only friend, and he's like, that's the closest thing I have to anything, so he really doesn't want Orpho to die. And it's really sweet, and I'm like, aw, how cute, like the lengths that you'll go for your friends, And so somehow he survives, and he gets out, and, then he runs into the little green men on Mars. And the way that he communicates with them is hundreds of all these little green men show up when he washes up on the beach. And the little green man takes his, what they think is his hand, and it shoves it into its body and makes him grasp their heart. And they communicate mentally, and they all are kind of one mind. And so the only way to communicate with the little green men is by literally killing them. And you can talk to them as long as they're connected, or you're holding on to their heart. And so he basically tells this one little green man, he's like, I need your help to get my friend, my ship is sinking, and I need your guys' help to get my friend out and to get us to safety. And so the little green man whose heart he's grasping dies, and but they are able to get Orpho out, and then there's all of these statues on the tops of the mountains, so he tries to go and find out what these statues are of, because the last information that they have on Mars is that it was basically the Mars that you and I know, which is not at all what it actually is now. So if you guys are confused, think about how confused I was when I was reading this. I was like, what the fuck is going on? But so anyways, so well, that is going on. The main guy, Hockenberry, who is that scholar that I told you guys about in the very beginning that has to kill Athena. Well, lo and behold, he doesn't kill Athena, and he, misses his opportunity, and, to be fair, it was a good call on his part, because he's like, if if I actually kill the goddess, he's like, Aphrodite's just gonna turn on me anyway, and bitch is just gonna murder me. And so he knows that all the gods, the goddesses are looking for him. Oh, well, what happened was there was a battle, and it was when he was supposed to kill Athena, and instead he doesn't, but Aphrodite, who is the goddess that he answers to that wants him to kill Athena, she and Ares actually get injured by a human. So what the gods do is that they pick their like favorites, and they'll like grant them with special powers right in that moment to make it work out in their favor. And so one of the humans actually they injure Aphrodite and Ares, and so they have to go back to basically Mars, which is where Olympus is, and they need to get healed. And so he knows, because he didn't kill Athena and he let Aphrodite get injured, when she wakes up, she's going to kill him. And so he knows that the muse is looking for him, and the muses actually start killing all of the Skolics like him. So what he does is he's got one other friend that's a Skolik, which is this one older guy that's from like a decade. He's from the 90s, and his friend is from the 80s. So he transports his friend to Indiana, which is where he's from, and he basically tells him, like, yo, Aphrodite's a psycho cunt, and she wanted me to kill Athena, and I didn't, and I let her get injured, and so now they're trying to kill all the Skolics because they're looking for me, and they see that, we won't listen to them, and so basically everyone's dying, and they're just killing all of them. So he's like, I don't want you to die, so I think you can survive here in Indiana, in ancient Indiana, during the same time as, fucking the Trojan Wars. So, all the indigenous, there are, very, very, behind in the times, even for the, the Trojans and whatnot. And so he's like, all right, well, basically you just kind of got to survive, because if you go back, you'll die. And so his friend's like, all right, cool, dude. I guess I'll just kind of survive here and whatnot. And so he leaves him, and then he's like, all right, well, I can either keep doing my job and keep hiding, or I could go have some fun, because this might be the last night of my life. So he's like, you know what he's going to do? He's like, I'm going to go fuck Helena Troy. And I swear, it's like the absolute most Chad move he could do, because he's like, yo, it's literally my last night on Earth. I'm going to go fuck the hottest chick on planet Earth. So he does. He takes the form of Paris, and he goes to where Helen lives, and he's like, all right, let's do this shit. And so they do it, and then obviously she can tell that it's not Paris, so she's like, who the fuck are you? And she's really smart, because she's, what is she, the daughter of Zeus? Yeah, her mama hatched an egg and whatnot, and had her and her sister and her brothers and whatnot. But so he goes and fucks Helena Troy. Page 1000, I know, right? Anna, she's only halfway through the book, I know, right? I'm waiting for the multiverse on. How bad am I at telling this story, guys? Is it pretty bad? I can stop if you guys want. You're doing good? Please continue. Alright, I'll continue. Alright, so he fucks Helena Troy, and she's like, yo, homeboy, you're not my fucking husband. Who the fuck are you? And then he, like, reveals himself to her, and he basically tells her, what the hell's going on. And, like, who he really is, and, like, she can't really pronounce his name and whatnot. And so then she's like, alright, I guess. And she's just like, are you a god and whatnot? And he's like, no, I'm not a god, which was good, because she hates the gods. She hates them for all the shit that they've done to her and her family and her friends and stuff like that. And she starts asking him, she's like, yo, am I going to die? What's going to happen? And he tells her. And because he tells her, then this bitch goes and tells all the other chicks in Troy about what the fuck is going to happen. And so, what the hell just happened? What was that noise? Whatever. Alright, so he tells her what happens, and she goes and tells all the other chicks, and they're like, alright, we're gonna fix this. They're like, we're gonna make sure that none of us die, we're gonna make sure that none of this shit happens, and we're gonna save everyone. And he's like, alright. And so she basically tells him, she's like, you need to go find the fulcrum, which is the moment in the Trojan War where they can change the outcome of, the future, and they can change basically how the war is going to go. And she's like, once you find it, you can change the way that this war is going to end, and you can save all of us from this shitty fucking fate. She's like, you can save me from having to go back to my psycho ex-husband who couldn't please her, because that's the whole joke, is they're like, oh, if Menelaus was just better in the sack, his wife wouldn't have left him for Paris. And so that's kind of like the ongoing joke in it. And so there's this like one, it's when Achilles kind of sits out because he's fighting with Agamemnon. That is the fulcrum. So he's got to kind of convince Achilles to do something. And then he doesn't get his chance, or he does, but he kind of blows it. And he knows that Odysseus is on him because Odysseus is smart as hell. And so Odysseus is like, because he takes the body of this old man named Phoenix, who I guess helped, he helped Achilles out when he was younger, and it's weird in the Iliad that Phoenix was present at this one moment, and so he's like, oh, that's probably why. So he takes the body of Phoenix, and Odysseus is just like, yo, mofo, there's something wrong, I don't trust this mofo, so he doesn't say anything as Phoenix, and he kind of ruins his chances to convince Achilles of whatever it was that he was going to convince him of. And instead what he does is he's just like, you know what, fuck it. He takes the body of Athena, and he's like, I'm going to turn all of the Trojans and all of the Greeks against the gods. And so that's his new plan. And so he's like, YOLO bitches. He takes the form of Athena, and he goes and he's in Achilles' tent, where Achilles, and this is when he finds out Achilles is gay, and, is fucking his best friend. And so he pretends to be Athena and basically chastises Achilles, and he kidnaps his best friend and transports him to Indiana. But because he did it as Athena, Achilles thinks that Athena killed his boyfriend, basically. And so that's when Achilles, he tries to talk to his mom, and the one dude, Hockenberry, impersonates his mom, and she's like, oh, just wait for this guy, you gotta go make peace with Hector, who you're supposed to kill tomorrow. She's like, you're gonna go make peace with him, and then you guys basically need to, war with the gods. And so that's his plan. So he needs to go get to Hector. There better not be a test after this, I know. So then back in Troy, he goes to go see Helen and basically tell her, and he wakes up and he's fucking chained up. After fucking her, he's all chained up, and he's in this one room, and all of the women of Troy are there. Cassandra's there, bitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are there. What's his face is Hector's wife, whose baby's gonna get thrown off the fucking wall of Troy and get killed. Basically all the women that all the shit stuff is gonna happen to, all the rape and pillaging that's gonna happen to them after Troy falls, are all there, and they want him to prove that he's telling the truth, basically. And so they take him in to the temple of Athena, into the basement, and the gods can't see in it because they can't see through, I think it's steel or iron. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of like, I wonder what superhero they got that inspiration from. But so they can't see into there, so the gods have no idea. And so he kind of has to tell them again what his whole mission was, what he did, You know, he answers all their questions. He tells Cassandra, who for the first time ever is like in front of someone that actually, you know, knows that she's not full of shit. Because Cassandra was, you know, the princess of Troy that was given the gift of foresight, but she was cursed with the fact that no one would ever believe her. And so she, after, you know, interrogating him, because she knows exactly what's going to happen, she knows everyone's fate, including her own. She knows she's going to get raped by Agamemnon and bore him 2 twin sons, and then once they get back to Greece, his wife is going to murder all of them, including her and the babies. And her betrothed is going to die in the next battle or something. And so she's basically going to have a shit life, right? And so she's kind of relieved because she's like, oh my god, somebody that finally, you know, is not full of shit and, you know, believes me and whatnot. So they're basically like, all right, you got to do one final test. And it's like, the dude's literally got magic fucking shit with him. Like, can you not believe him at this point? And they're like, you need to go back to Mount Olympus and steal this brooch that Aphrodite wore. And he's like, bitch, is for fucking real? For fucking real. I literally got a helmet that can turn me invisible. But you don't believe me. So he's got to go back. And so he goes and he like steals like her mirror or something. And the mirror actually, it'll make you look. It basically, when you look in it, it'll show you what you would look like as a god. So the most beautiful you can possibly be. So of course all the women are like, ah! And when he looks at it, obviously it shows like a Brad Pitt looking guy, which he obviously does not look like. And so it's like, oh, okay, so it shows like your true potential of beauty. And of course Helen doesn't really change because she's basically, you know, the hottest chick on the planet. And so, whatchamacallit, so like, alright, fine, we believe you, this is what you need to do. And so he needs to get they need to figure out how Hector will believe them, so that way when Achilles shows up, he will be willing to go with Achilles and fight the gods. And so what he's gonna do is that he has to kidnap their baby, Hector's son, and they have to say that Athena stole the baby and whatnot. And so he tries to do it, but he just can't, because he's like a good person and he doesn't want to steal a baby and then like leave it somewhere. So he doesn't, and then he's got to go get Achilles and lead Achilles into Troy. So and Achilles has like totally gone off the plan and kind of took over all the Greek forces and whatnot. Sorry. So he took over the Greek forces, and he's basically going ham. And so he's got to get him to Hector. He's got to get him in. And so as he gets Achilles over to Troy, and he sneaks him in and all of that stuff, and, you know, he takes him into where he's supposed to go. Turns out, the baby fucking died. And Andromache, which is Hector's wife's name, she's crying, they're going crazy, because Athena apparently came down from the heavens and killed their baby and cut him up into little pieces, so his blood is everywhere. She's crying, she's throwing a fit, and Hector is like, what the fuck? And it's in that moment that Hockenberry knows that she's the one that killed the baby, because that's the only way to convince Hector to join the Greeks, is that if he believes that Athena killed his son, that's the only way he would ever, you know, turn against his gods, even though the bitch isn't even on his side of the war and has been fucking with him the entire time. So homegirls be fucking psycho. Could you imagine cutting your baby into pieces and killing it? Because that's exactly what this bitch did. So when Hockenberry realizes that, and he's like, bitch is fucking crazy. And then Achilles, since he's there, Hector's like, I'm gonna fight this motherfucker, and he's like, no, homeboy, he killed my best friend, or she killed my best friend, we need to join forces, and we need to have a war against the gods. And so Hockenberry is like, what the fuck have I done? These people are fucking psycho. And it's like, homeboy, didn't you know that they were psycho? Like, where have you been the last decade when you've been watching the Trojan Wars? These fuckers are insane. They're all about honor and glory and killing. Like, what the hell did you think you were getting yourself into? But homeboy be stupid. So, he's stupid, and bitches be crazy and kill their baby. So, whatchamacallit, he goes to go check on his friend and go see how Achilles' boyfriend is doing in Indiana. He runs into his friend who is now like the shaman of some local Indian tribe, and he's like, all right, well, I might not see you again. He's like, do you want me to take you back? Because, you know, we can be safe. And he's like, nah, I found some bitch here that I like to fuck. And he's like, all right, well, I guess have a great life. I don't know if I'm ever going to come back. And he's like, all right, have fun. Good luck. And says bye. And then, Achilles' boyfriend, I guess, took off right when he arrived and, like, went and ran. He's going to try to get back to Troy and to Achilles. So they ain't ever going to see him again. Because he's not there and he can't transport directly to him. So, homeboy's gone forever, basically. Achilles' boyfriend, he bye-bye. They don't know where the hell he went. So, and they're like, oh yeah, a Greek fighter in his prime, he'll probably survive. Okay, come on. But nobody there speaks Greek, so that's going to be kind of hell for him. But anyway. So, while all of this is going on, those humans from the future, they need to go to the base of the Mediterranean Sea because Harmon wants to find a way to continue living. Or no, they need to go somewhere first. So Savi takes them on a ship, like a flying ship, and none of them know how to fucking use it or anything. And she wants to take them someplace. So I think they go to Peru or something. But she takes them to this one place. And there is like this mannequin. And they're looking at it. And they're like, this is weird. Like, it's really realistic. And then it starts talking. And it's like, oh, it's not a mannequin. It's a fucking man. But it's a man like they've never seen before. Motherfucker is fucking Odysseus. Yeah, Odysseus from the fucking Greek and Trojan War. And they're like, what the fuck? And he's like, I don't know why. It's just one day I just fucking appeared here. And he has been, hanging out with Savi. And so they're going on some, I guess, little vacation. And they watch him hunt these bird things. And they're all amazed. And he cooks. And none of them know how to cook except for Savi. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with all you people? And so Hannah is like totally like, oh my god, he's the bestest ever. Totally head over heels for him, but he's old as fuck and she's young as hell. So they're just like, alright. And then Ada, who's been trying to sleep with Harmon, who's the old guy that can read. And then Diamond, that's been trying to fuck Ada, they're kind of in this weird little love triangle thing, except for Ada doesn't know that Diamond is into her, but Harmon does. And then Ada, I guess, she tried to, like, fuck Harmon the night before, and he said no. And then that night, they do. And so Ada finally gets to sleep with him. And then the next day, Harmon is like, oh my gosh, everyone got laid except for me and Savi. Because he thinks that Hannah slept with Odysseus. And so does everyone else. And Hannah knows that, but she didn't. She's just, like, totally infatuated with him because he's so different. And, it's Odysseus. I feel like he was kind of a ladies' man just a little bit. But she's just fascinated by the stories he's telling, because he's telling all about his travels and the war and what it was like back where he lived on ancient fucking Greece and whatnot. And even though he's from the fucking past, he's like, these motherfuckers in this future are, whatchamacallit. They're all kind of stupid and they don't know how to do anything. So he's kind of like, he's like, what kind of future is this, basically? What has humanity come to? He's like, you guys can't do anything. Which is, I feel like, a lot of, what a lot of people in the past would do, because they had to do so much just to survive. Like, we wouldn't know how to do anything if we went back in time. I mean, I'm sure some of us would have, like, an idea. But, like, just the basic, like, survival stuff that they know back then, like, I feel like most people, especially modern people, have no idea. But so, anyways, Harmon and Ada go for a walk in the woods. And Diamond is like, fuck this shit, because he got eaten by a dinosaur. So he's like, I'm not going anywhere I'm not leaving. And they're like, no, don't worry, it's safe. And he's like, fuck that shit. I'm not getting eaten by no dinosaur. He's like, I wouldn't be able to get, like, transported back to the infirmary because there's nothing out here. We're literally in the middle of nowhere. There's no voynixes. There's nothing. And I just saw Odysseus, like, kill some fucking bird-like dinosaur creatures. And so he's like, fuck that shit. I'm not going. So he hangs out with Savi at the ship. And Savi and him kind of have a conversation about life and whatnot. And she's trying to convince him to kind of be more adventurous and whatnot. And so during this time is when we learn a little bit about these altered humans. And so Harmon basically tells Ada that he doesn't like the way that, you know, families are, because there aren't really families anymore. A woman can choose, you know, from any man that she's ever slept with, she gets to choose which one is her baby daddy when she gets selected to be able to have a kid. And then, so he's basically like, I want, like, when you are able to select, you know, who's going to be your baby daddy, I want you to choose me, but I want to be in the kid's life. Like, I want to be a father to them. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Guys don't do that. It's literally just a woman raising a kid. And he's like, well, I don't like that. He's like, if I have a kid, I want to be there. I want to be part of its life. And she's like, that's not how it's done. And he's just like, yo, bitch, let me be a dad. And he's like, I want you to basically have my kid. And she's like, homeboy be fucking crazy. And then he explains to her that the way that women are able to pick who the father of their baby is, like just from any of the genes from any of the men that they've had sex with ever, is because I guess there's some kind of thing with moths, because these new futuristic humans have moth DNA in them. Let's see. I'm sorry. I know that this is the most complicated freaking story. But so, she gets fucking pissed at him the second he brings up moths and how, you know, all of these futuristic women's DNA are basically part moth. And she's like, fuck you. And she, you know, storms off. And he's just like, what the fuck? I'm just, like, telling you the truth, but he doesn't understand women very well. And he doesn't understand that telling a woman that she's part moth is probably going to piss her off. And so, he made a no-no. And Diamond's all happy because he's like, yeah, she's mad at him. Good. Basically, good. I can move in. And then, they need to get what's his face? Achilles, or not Achilles, they need to get Odysseus to a place where he can tell all of his stories to a lot of people. And so they decide he needs to basically go home with Ada and Hannah while the guys and Savi go to the base of the Mediterranean Sea, because Harmon wants to go talk to the post-humans so that way he can live longer, and that way if he has a kid with Ada, he can stay alive to be the dad, you know, and to be there for his family, right? So I'm like, dude's a good dude, but Ada's just kind of being a bitch. And so Ada and Hannah are pissed that they don't get to go with the boys and go with Savi to the basin of the Mediterranean Sea. But they're like, all right, we'll go home with Odysseus and whatnot. And then Odysseus, when they show up at Artist Hall, he's got to kill one of the Voynixes because it tries to kill him. And they're like, what the fuck? Voynixes aren't supposed to attack humans. But they want to kill Odysseus because he doesn't register to them. And so they're like, what the fuck? So, and it's also suspicious about the Voynixes because the Voynixes didn't save Harmon when he went into the jungle to go pee, and they let the dinosaur eat him, which is not what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to protect them. So, obviously there's some problem with these things. So, whatchamacallit, once they get all settled and he's telling stories, they have people from all over coming to visit, to come hear Odysseus tell them stories and whatnot. And then Odysseus doesn't want Hannah to have her little birthday celebration because she's reaching the end of her first 20. And so that means she's going to get teleported up to the infirmary. So that way she they basically just rejuvenate her body, and what the hell's wrong with my cats? Assholes. Okay, they're basically gonna rejuvenate her body and give her a brand new one, and whatchamacallit, so that way she can live another 20 years and whatnot. So, anyways, the guys in Savi go to Jerusalem, I think, and then all of the Voynixes try to fucking kill them because they're trying to kill Savi, because it's something about them killing Savi. And all of these people have this kind of bracelet thing that will tell them information, and she kind of was trying to teach Harmon how to use it, and it's this thing called the AllNet and whatnot, and you can call people, and you can see, like, every single molecule and every single plant and animal and everything, so it kind of overwhelmed him, and he freaked out. But even though, again, these are futuristic humans, they have no idea how any of their own technology works, which is, you know, pretty believable, because it's like, I don't know how a computer works. I don't know how my cell phone works. I just know that it does. I just plug it in and it works, right? And I mean, I'm sure that there's plenty of people here, you know, in the chat that know exactly how these things work. I just don't, because, you know, I have other interests, like learning how to paint the way I'm painting now. But anyways, so they're in Jerusalem, and they need to get to the Mediterranean basin, because the Mediterranean has no water in it anymore, I guess. And so they got to get there, but all the Voynixes are trying to kill them and they're starting. I was like, wow, this is I don't know, if an SJW ever reads this book, they're gonna have a fucking field day, because the Voynix put on the speakers, "Kill the Jew." And so all the Voynixes are trying to they're trying to find Savi so that way they can kill her. And so they finally get down to the Mediterranean basin, and there's like all these fields, and in the middle of the field there's this, like, it's basically like a crucifix of this giant scary snake-like lizard monster thing with feet and stuff. And it's obviously alive, but it's not attacking them. And then she's saying, oh, that's Calabac or something, which, if you are familiar with Greek and, you know, Roman mythology, you'll know that it's the name of the creature that was supposed to marry the Princess Andromeda, and then it got, like, transformed because he, like, disobeyed Zeus and killed all the Pegasuses, and so he turned him into a monster. But so basically she said that one day the post-humans were trying to contact every planet, and he came back, and so this isn't actually Calabac, it's like a clone of him, and so there's a bunch of clones, and so she connected to the computer that runs the world, and, you know, got them safe passage through, and so they're gonna go to this one place where you can teleport to the post-humans space. If it turns out that she read it 10 years ago, I'll fall out of my chair. What do you mean? How did it go from robots to God and time traveling? That was my fucking question when I was reading this damn book. To be fair, it started off with gods and all of that, but then the robots came later. That's why it took me so long to realize that they were robots. I was like, what the I thought it was some weird kind of god that I didn't know about, or like an alien and whatnot, but it's not. It's fucking robots. So, whatchamacallit, and I listened to this audiobook recently, actually, like when I was painting the Queen of Hearts. I think there's like some silent streams there where I'm not talking and I'm listening to the audiobook, but yeah. But anyways, so they go up to the place where all so they find this one building, and on top of it there's these 3 chairs. And this is when Savi reveals that she's done this multiple times, because the way that she's been able to survive for so long is that she hibernates. So she puts herself in cryo sleep, and she wakes herself up every now and again to try to do this. And you can see like this beam of light in the sky, and she thinks that is all of her friends. Because like I said before, the post-humans what they did was that they put all of the modern humans into basically an energy stream, and they said that they would bring them back once they got everything settled, which they never did because something happened to the post-humans. And Savi's been trying to figure it out. Diamond wants to go talk to the post-humans, and Harmon's along for the ride. And so, whatchamacallit. Am I recording? Okay, good. So, then what happens next is they have to sit in these 3 chairs and push these buttons at the same time. And that's going to transport them up to where all the post-humans live. And so they have to put these suits on because they're going to be transporting through space and time and whatnot. And they don't know exactly where they're going. So they transport up there and there's no fucking oxygen because everything is destroyed. And so basically imagine like a futuristic city in the clouds, which is actually, I think it's on a meteorite or it's on the moon. I can't exactly remember. I think it's on a meteorite. But so they get there and there's no one there and there's no oxygen or anything. And when they do find people, they're all fucking dead. So all of the post-humans got killed, like brutally murdered. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, obviously this person lost oxygen, so they suffocated. But then this one's like, their throat's been bitten out. So like, what the fuck happened to all of the post-humans? Well, like, they're all dead. Nobody's here. And so, and then they're like, Harmon gets hungry, because remember, he's the fat one. And so Harmon's super fat, and he's like, yo, I'm fucking hungry. And so they've been up there, and they need to find a new way back, because they had to sit on these chairs and push these buttons, and the chairs transported them through space to get up here. And the chairs kind of got destroyed on this transportation. So they have to find a way back, and Diamond, not Harmon, is hungry as all fuck because he's fat. And he's like, I need to eat. And then Harmon's like, alright, I guess I'm kind of hungry too. But they need to find out what happened, you know, and what's going on. And so they're wondering, they're floating around in this area. All the post-humans are obviously dead. They don't know what happened. And then they find this building, which is the infirmary. And the infirmary, obviously, is where all the people go when their time is getting renewed and, you know, when they're getting healed. Obviously, Harmon was just there because he got eaten by the dinosaur. And so they're seeing all these people. And so they're basically in these tanks. And there's these, like, green worms that are going through that are healing them. And so they're like, this is what it, you know, they're like, wow, this is what it's like. And one of the things that they noticed when they arrived at this, you know, meteorite where the post-humans once lived, that now they're all dead, is that it smells. Like, this smell is god-awful. They're like, what the fuck is this, you know? Like, just imagine, like, the most, just a slaughterhouse, basically, of, like, rotting meat and flesh and whatnot, which kind of makes sense considering all of the post-humans, you know, all of them died brutal deaths, so they obviously, you know, smell pretty, it smells pretty damn bad because it's all been rotting flesh. And then they hear this noise, and they're like, what the fuck is this? And that's when they see the real Calabac, which is the snake-like creature monster. Basically, actually, you know what I pictured for it? I just pictured Ethan Van Sciver's Salamandroid. So picture Salamandroid is sitting there just eating humans, and it's surrounded by all of these bodies. And it speaks very strangely. Like, the narrator, or I guess the narrator, like, was hissing when I was listening to it, and it's like, and so it's really fucking creepy. And so it's surrounded by all of these body parts. And so one of the things that Savi had mentioned before was like, oh, you know, there's only supposed to be 1 million humans at one time, but there's a lot less and nobody knows why. Meaning, like, she doesn't, because obviously nobody else knows. And nobody else really, you know, looks into it. They don't think about it. They don't really care. They just assume that that they live somewhere else. So now the mystery is solved. It's because anytime you go back to the infirmary, there's a chance that Calabac is going to pick you out of your little tank and start eating you. And that's how he's been surviving for so long. And that's what happened to all the post-humans, is that he showed up and started eating all of them. So then they like see him and they're kind of talking to him for a minute, and then they're like, we got to get the fuck away from this thing because it's going to eat us and kill us and we're going to die. So they run away from him and they find a tunnel or like a cave or something, and he of course follows them into it, and he's all excited because he hasn't seen or spoken to anyone in a long time. And then he's talking to them and he's talking to Savi, and you know, he's kind of explaining how like where he's from, and like his mother is like this goddess or something. And it's kind of weird because again, he speaks like philosophically, and they're trying to like get an answer out of him, like what happened to the post-humans, and it's like obviously the motherfucker ate them, like, but they're trying to talk to him so he won't eat them. And then Savi tries to shoot him and he eats her. Like he bites off her head, so Savi's dead, and Harmon and Diamond shoot him and injure him, and they kind of escape for a little bit. And now that Savi's dead, they don't have anyone that can really explain things to them. So, throat bitten out. Oh no, so the post-humans aren't gods. They created the gods. But so, they have to survive in Calabac's cave without him finding them. So they're hiding, they're living in the shadows, they're trying to like avoid him. And what they find to eat are like these worms, like these white worms that kind of live in this cave. And so obviously Harmon, who was fat, loses a shit ton of weight because they like survived there for weeks. And then the girls back home that have been hanging out with Odysseus, they're kind of pissed because they're like, motherfuckers just took off. They've been gone for like months. Or not months at this time. They're gone for about a month or so. Or I think they're gone for like 8 weeks or something. But anyways, the girls are kind of pissed because they're like, oh, the guys are gone. What the hell's going on? And so they're kind of upset, obviously, because Savi died. And they're like, we need to like avenge Savi. But we also have to... They decide, they're like, we need to destroy this place. Which means if they destroy this place, they're going to lose the infirmary. Which means if you die, you die. If you get injured, you kind of have to deal with it. And Harmon is they both know that they have to do it, because if they don't, Calabac is just going to eat everyone until, there's no more. And they learn that, if after you've used your 20, like all of your 520s, if you use the teleportation machines again, you're just going to die because there's no post-human to fix it. So they're like, all right, we basically just gotta destroy this city that the post-humans are in, or that, was destroyed. They gotta destroy it so that way they can destroy Calabac. And then they know that they didn't kill him because they can still hear him, and he's stalking them in a way. And the only reason that he hasn't killed them yet is because he's having fun toying with them. And they both know that. So they're like, we need to go back to the infirmary. We need to try to get as many people sent back home as we can. Doesn't matter what condition they're in. We need to send them back home. And then we need to destroy this place. And then we'll figure out a way to get back. And they're like, even if they can't figure out a way to get back, they're going to die. They're just like, and Harmon obviously is kind of like, I don't want to do that, Diamond is like, I don't want to do that, but they both have that, we need to just get this done. And at this point, Diamond kind of like mans up because he knows that he's just like, all right, well, as terrified as he is of dinosaurs, he's like, can't let this thing get back to Earth. Or to wherever the hell they are, or wherever the hell they live, which is, I don't know if it's on an asteroid, if it's on Earth, whatever. He's like, because that thing scares him more than the dinosaurs do. So he's like, we can't let this get to Ada. We can't let it get to Hannah. We just basically can't let Calabac escape here. We need to kill him. We need to kill him. And, basically this entire floating, whatchamacallit, basically graveyard. And so they get back to the infirmary, which I'm like, that's where Calabac gets his food. Of course he's going to get there. And so one of them has to watch the entrance while the other one, like, tries to fax everyone back to wherever it is that they came from. So that way they save as many people as possible before they blow up the asteroid that the post-humans live on. And so then they see Hannah's body appears because Hannah just faxed up for her second 20. So she's starting to, like, rejuvenate, and they're like, oh my god, we gotta save her. And then Calabac shows up, or, like, they hear him, because they can hear him whispering, but they can't see him, so they don't know where he is. And then they spot a, like, the ship, like Savi's little flying ship, and it's over by this one area. And so they're like, fuck, we both can't go over to that one area. We gotta, keep getting all the people out. And so they're like, Calabac is either going to show up to kill one of us. And this is the point when Diamond is like, all right, well, I'm going to go get the ship. I'm going to go set it up. I'm going to go do it because he was the only one that Savi taught how to, like, fly the ship. So he's got to go fly the ship and bring it back to them, so that way him and Harmon can get back to Earth with Hannah. And so as he goes out there, guess who Calabac decides to attack? Oh yeah, the dude that's afraid of dinosaurs. And so he fights with Diamond, excuse me. So he fights with Diamond, who is the guy that used to be fat that wanted to fuck his cousin. And so they fight, and what Diamond does to defeat Calabac is that he's able to somehow he shoots him, but he gets him out, so that way he's ejected into space, but he's also bleeding. And so he basically beats Calabac, even though they don't think that Calabac dies. They don't, even when he gets back to tell Harmon, they both agree that they don't think Calabac is dead, and they don't think that they've seen the last of him. But at least for now, Diamond was able to defeat him, which is a good thing, right? So, and yes, the Munchkin is very furry. I was this way when I was little too, so be nice. But so yeah, so they're able to save Hannah. And they're able to, the story's absolutely mesmerizing, really. But so, they save Hannah, but because she was still rejuvenating and they had to get her out early, she has absolutely no hair. She doesn't have any eyelashes or anything either, because what it does is once you go into the infirmary, it, like, destroys your body, and then it kind of, like, it regrows you. And that also happens when they use, like, the teleportation devices, the fax machines, which, yeah, I know that's what they're called. So Diamond is kind of against using them now ever since he found that out, because it freaks him out, because it's like it completely, like, it just deletes your body and then, creates a new body where you materialize, which is kind of, why certain characters in Star Trek didn't like using the transporter, because they're like, I don't like my molecules being, destroyed and scattered and then, re-put together. It freaks them out. And so once Diamond learns about that, he's, like, very, like, skeptical about using the fax machines. But so they get the ship to fly them back to Artist Hall, which is where Ada is. And so Ada is mad at Odysseus because he didn't show up for Hannah's birthday, which was basically just a ceremony of her completing her first of 5 20s and then transporting up to the infirmary to basically, well, they don't know she's getting a new body, but basically to get a new body. So Hannah's pissed at Odysseus because he didn't do that, and she knows that it hurt Hannah's feelings because Hannah obviously likes Odysseus. And so when they get back, or all of a sudden, you know, when they get back, they have full beards, which men don't have there. Odysseus was the only one with a beard. And so they show up with full beards, and they learn from Ada that all of the servitors, which are basically their robots that serve them, stopped working. And that the Voynixes kind of took off. And so they don't know what's going on. And nobody can, like, fax up to the infirmary. Or, like, no one automatically gets taken to the infirmary anymore. And so they basically, then they have to tell them the story. And they're all injured, too. And nobody really knows. There's no doctors or anything. So they kind of have to, like, and obviously Diamond is hurt because he fucking fought Calabac. And so they have to recover, and they're actually injured, and they're healing, and these are people that have no idea how to heal anything. They don't know what scars are, because they've never had to. They've never had to deal with that. So it's them basically having to learn how to be human, basically. And then once they explain to them, like, what happened and how Savi died, and Odysseus is, like, kind of upset. He's like, oh, no, Savi died. And they're like, yeah, fucking thing bit her head off, and she died, and whatnot. And so they're basically on their own. I'm trying to remember what else happens after that for them. Let's take a break, and let's talk about the robots. So Orpho and Monmont, the little green men agree to kind of help take them to Olympus Mons, but they tell them that they have to try to avoid the flying people, which means the gods, because Olympus is actually whatchamacallit, or Mars is Olympus. And so for whatever reason, the post-humans made the Greek gods again. And so they're not really humans. They're not post-humans. They're something else. And they're not gods either. So it doesn't really make any... I don't understand that part at all. But I think that's because it's going to be explained in the second book. And I might be forgetting some things because when I was listening to this, I apologize to everyone. I got, like, really into the painting, and I think I zoned out a little bit too much. And so I forgot how or what exactly happens when the robots get to, or how they finally get to Olympus. I think they get captured. And then they kind of get questioned or, like, looked at by Zeus. And then they're like, okay, well, we're just going to destroy them. And then back on with what's his face. Shit, what happens with him? Okay, so all of the humans, all of the Greeks and all of the Trojans are going to fight the gods, right? And so somehow Hockenberry, the guy that's fucking Helena Troy, he's supposed to be, like, their little ambassador guy to them, or, like, he's supposed to be helping Achilles and whatnot, and Hector and all of that. And so he has to he's got to go to Olympus for some reason, and when he goes there, he basically gets caught by Zeus and all of them, and then he's having a conversation with Zeus, and he realizes when he's, like, in this room talking with Zeus, and Zeus kind of, like, it's weird, because Zeus is like, oh, wait, well, you're gonna die, you're the only one, I'm just gonna talk to you about this, because you're the only one that knows, and you're gonna die anyway. So basically, he just tells him, he's like, yeah, I fucking hate my kids, I want them all to die, I hope Ares dies, you know, I guess he kind of likes Athena, but, you know, it's basically just Zeus being a fucking prick, and whatnot. Which is pretty normal. And then Hockenberry had seen, you know, the gods being fascinated over like these little robot things. And so he knew that these robots weren't from his time. Or no, they weren't from the gods' time. They weren't from Greek. And he's like, they kind of look like they're from my time. Oh my god, these fucking cats, I hear them. And so he remembers like technology that was coming out that could possibly be these like little robot things. And so he gets put, or no, he knows he's gonna die, and so he needs to escape somehow, and somehow he ends up in a room with Monmont and like Ortho, or he ends up in the room with the main robot. And sorry guys, this is a part that of course gets fuzzy, which is pretty important. And he needs to get, or he somehow gets the Hades helmet back, and so he can turn invisible. And so when the gods come in there, they can't find him, and Hera's fucking pissed because they can't find him. And so the little robot saw that he, turned invisible, and so he's like, yeah, I gotta get back to, I need to get back to, whatchamacallit, to the Greeks and stuff. And so the little robot's like, can I borrow your little helmet, because I gotta go save my friend, and he needs to, like, finish his mission, which he needs, one of the missions that the robots were doing was they had to take this thing to Olympus and activate it. And so he lets him borrow the Hades helmet so he can go, because he's got the little teleportation bracelet still. And so Monmont was like, okay, well, I need to save my other robot friend, so can I borrow your invisibility helmet so I can go activate this device and finish my mission, and then so I can save my friend? He's like, yeah, sure. And then they're going to meet back at this certain time, because he's got to get something too, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but so they had a little break, and then Monmont goes and gets Orpho, and they activate the device, and then they meet back up and they get to Olympus, or they get back to Troy. And what it was I think it was like an explosion or something, but also it activated all of these war drones from Mars, and it opened a portal from Mars. So all of these war drones that their mission, I guess, is to take back Mars from the, basically the gods that kind of inhabited it and ruined everything, or, made it into Olympus. And so all these war drones answer to Monmont, the main robot, and Monmont is basically like, all right, we're going to help, all of us robots, we're going to help fight the gods, and we're going to, help the humans. And so that's kind of when I think Hockenberry finds out that he's in the future, and that, the Greek gods aren't Greek gods, but none of them really know what happened. And then I'm trying to remember exactly how it ends on Olympus, or not on Olympus, it ends in Troy, and all of them doing something, but I'm kind of blanking on how exactly it ends. But that's basically that story. What do you guys think? How bad was my retelling of it? Alien by Dan Simmons. That's the book I just, I'm trying to remember exactly how it ends. Hockenberry's still fucking hell into Troy, that's one thing. The modified humans are gonna, try to, live, whatnot. But yeah, the robot guys are my favorite. I liked the little robot guys. I like their little conversations. Thanks, Edward. I like Billy Madison, so I know exactly what you're quoting. Yeah, it was a very strange book. But apparently I have to read the next one, which is Olympus. And I kind of started listening to it, but it's kind of depressing the way it starts off. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. It's with Menelaus plotting to kill Helen because Paris died. Because the Greeks and the Trojans teamed up and they're at war with the gods. But Paris, I guess, got killed by Apollo. And so they're having a funeral. And Menelaus is like, I'm going to fucking kill this bitch. And Agamemnon went back home to to Greece to try to get more people to come join them to fight the gods. And so he doesn't have his brother there. And I was like, oh, sad Paris died. Poor Helen. Even though she's like fucking Hockenberry. It's not like she cared too much about Paris. I can't believe you remembered so much. I have a pretty good memory when I am paying attention. I really like books. I wish I had more time to read, but I really don't. It sucks. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think if there's... I can't really like start explaining a new book right now because I'm almost done actually. What do you guys think? I mean, I know you guys don't know what the Munchkin looks like, but this is pretty close to the photo. I'll have to ask her and Peaches. Yeah, overall I enjoyed it. I was just super confused, so I don't know where it's going to go with this next one, or if Caliban's going to come back, or what's going on with the Troy and all of those people. I feel like it's kind of actually depressing, but it is a good book for the most part. I was definitely surprised. I think one of the things that's like really hard with science fiction though is that you have to like do so much world building, and so it gets to the point where it's like how much of the story can be world building while not being a detriment to the plot, I guess. And so this one, I don't know, I felt like it was a good mix, but at the same time, whatchamacallit, I felt like I got kind of confused more often just because I couldn't exactly visualize what it was trying to say was there. if that makes sense. Hmm. So, how many of you guys are going to be able to make it out to Anime Matsuri this summer? It's the last weekend of July. I think the weekend of the 28th. I think I'm going to try to finish this whole eye project by then so I can bring all of my eyes. I'd have to drive out there though, which would be kind of a bitch, but I think I can make it happen. What do you guys think? Would you guys go? Would you guys come meet me? Cecil's going to be there. I think we're going to try to convince John and Kelsey to go. And Ethan is probably going to go. Nikokata, Yellow Flash. I don't know if Tug's going to be able to make it this year. He's got a... I mean, I didn't know about it, till after, but I didn't know that he was sick and dealing with cancer. So I don't know if Tug's going to be able to make it, but I hope that he can. I hope that he's completely cancer-free and healthy and able to make it. Okay. I think that's about as good as I'm gonna get. I'm gonna blend this in a little bit. That's too straight of a line. I don't know. Okay, that's about as good as it's gonna get. What happened to your thumb? Oh, I had a hangnail that I had to pull out. It fucking was bleeding like a motherfucker earlier, so I just taped it up. Also, second, I shipped out your drawing earlier. The zip code you gave me was wrong. And so they showed me the one that was right, so I put that one in. I think you got 2 numbers mixed up. Or at least I sincerely hope you did, because I sent it to the right one, or else they wouldn't let me ship it. Alright. Just add. Okay, it's done. Damn, this little girl looks super dark. She is pretty dark, though. Okay, let me edit this. What do you guys think? Okay. Looks great. Very nice eye. Probably the best one. Oh, good. Good, good, good. I hope the Munchkin likes it. uh... Let me see. Looks weird in the photo. Try to tone this down. I feel like I made this part too. Part too bright. Let me try this again. It's too messy. Okay. All right, let's do this. Well, I hope everyone likes story time with Anna. You know, I'm like so excited for this project to be done. And just to kind of have my whole wall of eyes. I feel like I'm missing a video. Let's see. How many are left? Well, I think that this is number 32 or something, or 33. I need to do 200. Yeah, this is number 33. So, yeah. Okay, exporting right now.
I have a goal of so many. So the reason why I said 200 is because it's kind of this philosophy that you don't truly understand how to do something until you've done it 200 times. So that's why I chose 200. Some people say 200, some people say 250. I just thought 200 would be, you know, a perfect number for it. So I picked 200, lo and behold. I think one of these days I'm just going to do a painting marathon where I try to paint as many as possible. Do you have 200 eyes? I don't. I do not have 200 yet. I have a lot, but a lot of people submitted photos that wouldn't work. So I'm like kind of waiting on a couple people. But yeah, okay, so I'm going to pull up my art Instagram for everyone. That's not my art Instagram, that's my regular Instagram. Let's see. Okay. Could you do one a day? My goal was to do one a day, but that didn't work out. So as you guys can see right now, it's all beautiful. We got the 3 eyes. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And it's going to get all messed up. Patrick T, thank you, Super Chat. Maybe 201, so it's divisible by 3. Oh, that's a good point, but I already have, like 2 photos of the same one, so I think it'll work. But, yeah, so I think it's uploaded now, so you guys ready to see all of that? Let me see. What the hell? Go back to my fucking art Instagram, dumbass. Ooh, I gotta delete it. Sorry. It's too zoomed in. I need my, my thumbnails to be perfect. Let me try that again. Okay. Okay, let's try that again. Alright, but if you guys aren't following me over on my art Instagram, go do so now. Here is this. Doing a marathon. The palette mixing will be the first 8 hours. Oh god, I know, right? Well, no, there's one where, like, somebody sent me like all of their children, and all of their children look basically exactly the same and have the exact same skin tone. So I think that'll be one of the days where I do a marathon, because I'm like, you guys all look exactly the same, or at least their eyes do. Alright, just waiting for this to upload. But yeah, we can watch one of these ones. Let's watch this one. I think this one's short. I really like the skin tones in this lady's face. It was a cool light source. So all of the highlights and stuff were like purples and stuff. And she had really shiny skin. I wish my skin was that like clear and healthy. But, yeah, this was a fun one to paint. Despite the blue eyes.
see, there's one. Okay, I think this one, I think it's uploaded now. There we go. Oh, damn it! Motherfucker. What? I'm gonna play it for you guys anyway, and then I'm gonna delete it. But there you go. Yeah, all of that. Everything you guys watched. Oh my god, this is almost a 3-hour stream. Jesus. All of that into that. Let me see if I can edit the cover without having to delete the post, because I know you guys already liked it and commented on it. I can see that. How do I edit? Cover. Oh. Can I edit it? Cover? Alright, well, did anyone comment? Yeah. Sorry, I'm about to delete it. I'm like super OCD about my timeline. It has to be perfect. Okay, hopefully that one is good. If there's any of my fucking easels showing, I'm gonna be so mad. Okay, share. Let's see if that worked better. So let's refresh. It should be deleted. Okay, yeah, it's deleted. Let's see. Did Gina send you her eye? No. No, I'm not drunk 3 beer. I don't talk to Gina. Oh my god, mofo, load. Let's see. Is it still not loading? Gosh dang it, hurry up. Waiting. Oh my god, it's really taking that fucking long. It just uploaded like 3 different times. Okay, is it there? Is it good? Oh god damn it! I did it again! Jesus. Alright, let's try this again. Sorry, guys. Alright. This is going to have to be good because I don't want to wait anymore. I need to go to sleep. Okay. Hopefully this goes through faster. A watch pot never boils. Did Gina comment about her portrait? Yeah, I guess she liked it, but I don't know. Gina, like, doesn't really talk to, at least in my experience, it's like she'll talk to, like, drunk, right? But I also don't want to bother her. I haven't really reached out or anything, but we'll like laugh at each other's stories on Instagram from time to time, but I don't exactly think I'm Gina's cup of tea. So, yeah. What's wrong with the post? The bad cropping. So, if you guys see, like, I only like how you can see just, like, the black and, like, the eye. I don't like it showing, like, my canvas or anything. That keeps it all cohesive. Like, these ones, if I could go back in time and make sure it was on a black canvas and do what I'm doing now, I would. Okay. It's been fixed. Let's refresh this. I'm going to play it again. There we go. Jesus, look at how dark she is compared to everyone else. How funny. It's like, bam, brown. But she's got the dark skin. So if you guys want to go and leave... Oh my gosh. Motherfucker, go away. Go report this. Report this shit as fucking spam. Block. Block. Get the fuck off my timeline. Oh, no! Oh, and I'm... Okay. Try this again. Let's watch from the beginning. There we go. Probably heard about you simping for her ex. Yeah, that's kind of why I stopped all the Henry Cavill stuff. Well, also, the joke kind of got old. But, I don't know. I felt like I didn't want... I would hate it if, like, somebody I followed was drooling over my ex. So, I was like... And she follows me, and I'm like, the last thing she needs to see is that, even though it was, like, you know, it's obviously a joke. To the, you know, the dumbasses out there that don't understand that. So, I don't know. Also, Gina could probably kill me with one punch, so I also don't want to get on her bad side in that way. So, yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is number 33, guys. 33 out of 200. It'll be crazy when I get to 50. But yeah. Yeah. Crazy, huh? I'm just looking at this. She is so dark compared to everyone else. It's funny. Little munchkin. She's so cute, though. Look at how detailed when zoomed in. Awesome. Oh, thank you. Now she knows you also by using her... No, I don't. Well, yeah, everyone. I guess I'm done now. Let me see. Okay, so... Let's look at this poll. What time do you guys prefer painting streams? 8% said mornings, 9% said afternoon, and 42% said night, and 42% said any. Well, I guess considering all of you people that are voting are here at nighttime, obviously you guys probably prefer night. I want to try seeing how this would work at different times of the day. If more people would show up at, you know, in, I don't know, throughout the day as compared to now. But yeah, I feel like I'm most productive with art at nighttime, so that's kind of why I like painting at night. What munchkin? She is taller than you. No, she's almost taller than me. She might be taller than me at the end of the year, but as of right now, I am still taller than her. She has not beaten me there yet. So let's take a look and see who's next. So, little munchkin just went. So, that would be... So, Mr. David M., another David is next. Another David is next. He kind of has goldish looking eyes. Let's see. He's got hazel. I'm going to have to make up the sides of it, but he's kind of looking all crazy, so that'll be fun. And the next one is a gentleman named Jeremy. He's got pretty, it's really dramatic lighting. So that's going to be fun. And he's got darker skin, so the munchkin won't be the only one. Let's see. And then, oh, Raging Rhino's coming up. He's only a few away, so I'll be painting him soon. Then this gentleman named Brian, and then this gentleman named Joel. It's gonna be fun. Got some interesting eyelashes on. Oh, that's a different light. Ah. Okay. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a fun time, everyone. You'll be sick of eyes by then. Yeah, but I'll be an expert at painting them. Hello, that's the point. All right, everyone. I'm gonna go to bed. I'll post this up on Twitter tomorrow, but what I'll do is, if you guys aren't following me on my art Twitter, is I'm going, let me see. Let me find my art Twitter. So I noticed people liked it more when, so this is my art Twitter. I posted, let's see. I posted this. So I noticed if people can see the final, gosh damn it, just stop. If people see the final image first, then they're more likely to watch it, at least what I've seen. And then I add in all of that, and then I show the whole painting of the eye and then the final result. And I have music and stuff. So I've noticed people like that more. So yeah, so I think I'm going to try doing that when I upload them onto Twitter, and I'll upload it during the day, so maybe more people see it and whatnot. So that's my plan. So guys, make sure that you guys are following me over on Twitter. It is the @isarttswg. So here, I'll post that in the chat. And oh, you guys want to see something cool? So let me go back to here. Where's this tweet thread? Ah, damn it, I'm not going to find it. Let's go see. So on Christmas, I think I posted this whole thread. But so look at this, guys. I made a little compilation of all of the eyes I've painted so far. There's that one. Look at that. It's like, it looks so cool once you get like all of, I think I already clicked on that one. Once you get all of them and you put them all together. I think it looks pretty snazzy, if I do say so myself. So, yeah. Yeah, what do you guys think? Here, I'll put the link if you guys just want to see a compilation of all, like, the photos of the eyes. There you guys go. But, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will try to be back tomorrow with another painting stream. Tomorrow Jessie is back, so we're going to do another matriarchy stream on her channel at either 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I don't know exactly when yet. We will figure that out when we get there. Or what time I wake up, I guess. But everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to play a little intro for you, and I will see you guys all next time. So guys, thank you so much, and good night. See ya later.